you this. Was there ever a point where deep down inside you were like kind of shaking in your boots? Like, oh my God, I don't know about this.
There's been plenty of situations where I felt nervous, quote unquote, but I've always been able to kind of pull it together and perform. And I think it's because of being a theatrical person, being an actor at heart from the beginning. But when you are in a situation when you need to act in a certain way or perform in a certain way, then you are able to find that in yourself.
Welcome back to another great episode of Rendezvous with Alysia. Today's guest is one of my all-time faves, Rick Eberle. I met Rick, over a decade ago. He's a legend on Long Island. You want to talk about Darryl Strawberry, any of the baseball stars, wrestling stars, music stars, you need a name, you went to Rick. Rick was always having events where he promoted people, charity events, music festivals. He was actually on FM radio 1 or 2 nights a week, I think, right at the college. You were the radio DJ there. I mean, this guy has been all around the world and back numerous times, and I couldn't wait to have him on the podcast. Welcome, Rick. How are you?
How's it going, Alysia? It's been a while. Nice to hear from you.
I met you over a decade ago, and I think I had met you along the way through Christine Girani, I think, when she was on the FM radio as well. But your life is fascinating. The people you have met, the places you have gone, and the things you've done. I mean, I've always looked up to you. I've always been like, wow, where the hell is Rick Eberle now? Like somewhere magical. You've just done the greatest things, Rick. How did you get your career in the entertainment business? How'd that start?
Well, first of all, thanks again for all the kind words. It's always been cool to connect with you and Chris and, your whole network here on Long Island as well. I think I appeared on one of your podcasts many years ago. I think we talked about my son as well back then, and he's really doing fantastically as well. I don't know if you followed his career at all.
No, I haven't.
Well, we can get into that as well. I mean, I like to say it's getting old because I've been saying it for 20 years. But like when other kids were reading Spider-Man, right? I was reading Rolling Stone. I was always that nerdy music kid, writing songs when I was 10 years old for my gifted program in elementary school, playing the talent show, doing the Battle of the Bands. And, music has always been in my family. My mom was a singer. My sister is a singer, bass player, songwriter. My mom's sister, they all sang, but one of them was an opera singer. And her daughter is a Broadway singer who was, in West Side Story and the Fantastics. And so we have a lot of, obviously singing ability. And so that was really what drew me to the entertainment business, was wanting to be a singer, was wanting to sing and play my guitar and, do shows. And so we had a lot of success and fun with that. We're called Iridescence. Actually, my sister plays bass and I play guitar. We sing. Yeah, Tara in Iridescence.
Why didn't I know that? Why didn't I know that was your sister?
I don't know. So we had songs on television shows, Drake and Josh, Zoe 101, a bunch of movies. We played with people like Sugar Ray and the Gin Blossoms, Spin Doctors. We've, for our time, we had a good time at it. And, even to this day, we're still doing a bunch of shows a year. But, I obviously, for the past 20 plus years, have really been more involved in the business side. So, I have my company, Magnetic Vine, which represents concert venues, film festivals, music conventions, authors, actors, musicians, and we get them media placement. So it's TV, film, print, online, social media obviously is huge, and we help help them navigate the landscape. We help them, get their stuff out there and then market it. Obviously have a strategy, timeline, and just kind of help them deploy a campaign that's going to be successful. And then from there, at the same time as Iridescence was, trying to make it big, if you will, I was working on the business side. So I worked at Arista Records with Pink, with Usher, with Whitney Houston, with Avril Lavigne, kind of start helping them start their career with Outkast on the marketing side, on the social media side. And then from there, I started running a concert venue called the Downtown in Farmingdale, where we booked people like Jewel, Michael McDonald, Fallout Boy, Plain White Tees, and that was all before the Paramount came into picture. So there wasn't really any other bigger venue for these real acts when they were coming through, and it was in between when the Vanderbilt had gone out of business, or well, they sold to the Race Palace. I said when I didn't really go to business, I don't really know the logistics behind that. But then, fast forward to, venues not necessarily lasting forever, right, is when I started the PR business. I also got into radio. You had mentioned I had my radio show. Nice. So I got a show called Unlabeled on 94.3. And that was it.
Yes.
Right. And Warren Mandel was one of the guys who helped kind of come up with that whole concept and pitched it. And we did that for a number of years. And that kind of helped me get my feet wet. And I actually ended up then getting a day job working in that building when they flipped to the Shark. So I was then the promotion director for the Shark. I was the first promotion director for the Shark, so we helped market that. We came up with the Shark Girls. I went to Great Adventure for them and did a whole video podcast thing. I had my show that we called Uncharted. But then, in that time, I had so much other stuff going on, right? So I had my songs on radio shows. I had my songs on TV shows, and I toured, right, as a musician. Then I ran a concert venue. I worked at a major label. And I was working in radio. I had all that stuff going on. I was like, you know what? Let me just start my own thing. So that's when I started Magnetic Vine, which now I've had for over 10 years. Through everything that Magnetic Vine has done, I was also able to connect with a guy. His name is Guy Bronia, right? He owns All Music Inc. in Plainview. It's a very well-known music store. It's been there for 30 plus years. 40 years now it's been there, over 40 years. They just reopened upstairs in Plainview. Definitely should check that out. We can talk more about that. But we created G&R Events a number of years ago. And through that, we have a booking agency where we are one of the primary entities of booking at Eisenhower Park, Nassau County. We do Oyster Festival for Oyster Bay. We do the Summer Arts Festival for Huntington, where I actually am on site there and I help facilitate all the shows at Huntington all summer long in the park. And then we also have the Jones Beach Band Show, which is the first thing we did. And then from there, now we have some nationally touring artists and international acts and East Coast bookings that we've been doing, that we've kind of been branching that out. So that's cool. And in radio, I still have that love for radio. So for the last number of years, I have a show called Rising Stars, and that's on 90.3 WHPC. And we play all the best unsigned artists in the world. We focus on the local market. We have live guests every week, and that's Mondays between 10 and 11 p.m. Eastern. And then one last thing that you can talk, because I just gave you a lot. As I mentioned, my son, and I'd mentioned that years ago because he was trying to be a musician at like 10 years old. Well, Now he's out in LA. He went to Jay-Z's Rock Nation School for a few years on scholarship. And then he said, Dad, I want to go to LA and try to really make it. And so he's been out there. He's been really doing well. He has a brand deal with Coca-Cola. He's played South by Southwest and Austin City Limits. He's done shows in Nashville at the Basement. He's involved with BMI. He's done some stuff with them out in LA. He's just really doing well. He's at almost 500,000 streams worldwide on a bunch of his different sites and platforms. He just put his album out. He's got a video out that just came out this week. So definitely check him out, Rob Eberly. And then, like I said, Iridescence is still playing once in a while. I actually have a lost album about all of my ruined and lost relationships over the last number of years, because that's what songwriting is really about. Like, if you don't have any pain,
you like Taylor Swift,
mistakes, you have nothing to write about, because otherwise it's boring. I mean, once in a while you can put a happy one out there. I got one happy one, right? But long story short, you can look for that in 26 as well. I'm going to be putting that record out. But yeah, I mean, I've come into my own. I have a milestone this year, and it's definitely, I've never had more on my plate, so I got to be super hyper focused.
So the 20-year milestone, we hit it. You're a speed bump. You're officially a speed bump.
20? Oh yeah, I'm 20. Sure. My son's 21. So let's
20
get
years.
that.
Oh, so yeah, you're out there longer than that. No, I meant that you have a milestone this year. What year? Like, are you
My
at
age, my age.
I thought you
It's
meant
a big one. It's a big one, Alysia.
50?
Maybe it might be.
You're
It
gonna
might
join
be.
me in the 50s?
So yeah, January. So and it's been the last few years have been quite a journey for me in a lot of ways. So
Dude, you're a legend. You're a
I
legend.
have well, you know, I don't want a legend always means that you either you don't exist, you only exist in certain frames of reference, you know, I don't know. Or you used to be around and you're not still
Yeah.
kicking.
Yeah, but
So
you're still kicking, dude. You're
I am. I'm kicking harder than ever. It's now's the time.
Yeah, I'm following you on Facebook and the people that you are surrounded by. I'm like,
Follow me on Instagram. That's where you have to check me out. That's where you
Okay.
see all of the different people I've been with, all the different shows we've been booking. This past year is really fun. We hung out with like Don Felder from the Eagles, who wrote Hotel California, right? And he's super cool. And he sings all the songs just like they do. You don't realize that the Eagles, you forget, they were 4-part harmony. So all 4 of those guys are lead singers. So Don comes out, he does all the songs, just like if it was Glenn Frey or any of them. He has a great set. We had Bret Michaels come and bring like 30,000 people to Eisenhower Park. That was amazing. Because I was like, Bret Michaels, Long Island, hair metal, like the girls that I went to high school with, the high hair.
Yeah,
Come on, Alysia. I know you had the high hair.
Dude, I had the Aquanaut. I wore the cap.
You did, right? Come on.
My hair was like
that was your era.
I was so flammable back in the day. It was like ridiculous. I never got in a convertible.
My sister too.
I was so afraid. I had friends that had convertibles. Like I got my driver's license, I think, back in 1990. So back in like 88, 89, when my friends started to get their license, never went in a convertible because I was so afraid my fro would like blow away. And then
you were going to all this. You're a few years older than me. So my sister, you're like probably your age, and she all those different places, Gil and Ernie's, 007, Metro 700. Like I missed all of that because I was more into rock and roll, so I didn't necessarily go to all those clubs. Yeah. But whatever. I should have realized that the guys that went there, they weren't going for the music. They were going because all the girls would go.
What's that place?
I was also too young. One time I went, they tried to sneak me in. I couldn't get in. I had to wait in the car.
What is that place on Hempstead Turnpike in Bethpage?
I think that's the place I'm talking about. I just said that.
There was Panama Jake's, but there's a place that's still kicking.
Oh, like Spit and like
No, it's still around in Bethpage.
It's still around, huh?
Hempstead Turnpike. They have all the rock bands going there in Bethpage. I feel like you would have hung out.
Oh, Mr. Beery's.
Mr. Beery's, yeah.
They're actually closing, unfortunately. Mr. Beery's getting up there in age.
Oh, really?
Deteriorating. His son doesn't want to take it off, I think. I don't want to speak out of turn. I don't necessarily know the specifics again, but I've heard through the grapevine different stuff. I did hear that they're most likely not continuing, but shout out to Steve Beery and everybody over there.
Yeah, what high school did you go to?
I went to Calhoun.
Oh, you went to over by Merrick over there.
Yeah, I used to cruise the Pike, absolutely. Tri-County. I mean, come on, that was my thing. But like I said, it was just a few years. I was really caught in the middle there. I wasn't like a metalhead, but I sort of listened to hair metal. Then I really got into rap, believe it or not, for a little while, like where my NWA hat.
Did you love the Beastie Boys?
Yeah, I liked they were really the only anti-establishment people out at that time. Yeah, everybody else was all dudes wearing like makeup and prancing and doing kicks on stage, which is fine. I appreciate that. But as a young 13-year-old boy, appreciable, like I was looking for something a little harder edged. Yeah. And I missed the whole like Judas Priest and Maiden and Ozzy. I found them after the fact, but when I came out, it was like, well, the hair metal stuff. So I was into rap, and then finally Nirvana and Metallica's Black Album, and because you almost miss Metallica too, because you forgot about them a little bit for some reason as a kid. But I was like, I guess I got to look at when the albums come out. But again, Guns N' Roses was huge for me, obviously.
Oh yeah.
That one album, when that came out.
Oh, they're like the early 90s, right?
Yeah, 89, 90, 91. I was a kid. I was, 13, 12 years old. 13, 14 years old. That's when you choose your music, though, I feel like.
Oh, yeah. My first concert, I think, was 1987. It was White Lion. Here I go
Right.
again on my own. I was like, I wanted to
Absolutely.
meet, what was her name? 20, who was over the front of the car. Like,
Right,
I
right.
was
That was
like,
White Snake. White
yeah,
Snake.
yeah, White Snake. Oh my God, White Snake, White
Here
Line.
I go again.
Yeah, I'm thinking
Right.
this, but there
Oh,
was a
that
White
album is
Lion too at the
fantastic.
same time.
Yes,
Oh my God.
absolutely.
That music was like great.
I
That was
think
great
so.
music back then. Yeah. Now, Rick, if we could put you in a time capsule and go back, the best performance that you to date that you ever did with Iridescence, where would you say you were?
That's interesting. That's a good question.
Yeah, because you performed for all these years. You had to have one that you walked away like, yo, that was my best performance.
I mean, maybe there's a lot of best, right? There's a lot of, it's like the best experience, my best performance. Like we've done a lot of cool stuff. Like
Yeah, yeah.
we played, for instance, like one time we played for a sold out show for the Saw Doctors, who were a really big Irish pop rock band
Okay.
at Irving Plaza in Manhattan. Iridescence
Okay.
did. And that was fantastic. I mean, you're playing to a built-in huge crowd. You know, shout out to
Yeah.
Christmas Night and Live Nation for hooking that out back in the day, for thinking of us. But yeah, I mean, that was cool. And then you know, also we played with Sugar Ray over at Stony Brook College in
Love
the
Sugar Ray.
in the stadium, and that was like, and this was right in their heyday, right? You know, early 2000s, late 90s, and yeah, so that was a really cool experience too. That was like, all right, we made it type of
Exactly.
feeling,
Yeah.
you know, we've done a lot of cool stuff as a band. You know, we obviously, as you grow, I mean, I had 3 children, you know, in my late 20s, early 30s, so that kind of prohibits you from doing many touring things. Well, not necessarily. You could just be a jerk. You could just be selfish.
Come out of here.
But I was brought up a certain way, you know. I'm Italian, mostly Irish, German, but you know, we all are around here on Long Island.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, I definitely, I come from a Christian background. I still follow that to the best of my abilities, and so you know, in that regard, I try and be a good person in a lot of ways.
Yeah. And you are. I've met you several times face to face. You're a great person. You're not just a good
But
person.
we all have demons. We've all done crazy things, and you know,
Well, that's a segue
throwing
to
caution to the wind and whatnot.
that's a segue to my next question. Dude,
Ooh.
on the radio or any interviews that you ever done, who's the craziest person that you've ever met that in your like inner thoughts you've been like, yo, this person's a freak.
I don't know about a freak, but I mean, I actually was, and I don't know, when I was representing the estate of Peter Tosh, who
Okay.
he was in the Wailers. He's a big reggae artist.
Yeah.
He wrote Get Up, Stand Up. In fact, people don't realize, but he's on that record. He's doing the second part of that. That's not Bob on the record. So anyway, and there's a whole story behind him. He's fantastic, and someone you definitely should look into his whole story.
Yeah.
I believe he was also. Do I want to? And he has a connection to September 11th, not 9/11. But I forget if it's his birthday or if he passed away that day or something strange. But anyway, long story short, when I went there, like I was in you know, not Trenchtown, but I was in, you know, Kingston. Like, so I was in the middle of it, you know. You know, so it was just funny being like a dude in a suit, you know, a little Italian Irish guy in a suit, you know, around all these guys that just, they're like, what the heck is he doing here? You know, like, so that was pretty funny, you know?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
And then, you know, so there was definitely some strangeness going on when I was down there. You know, one time I had my phone, I was taking a picture, like when we drove through Trenchtown. So I'm like, oh, let's go through Trenchtown. That's a smart idea.
Oh yeah.
And then I have my phone like almost out the window, and the guy at the cab garage yells at me. He's like, "What are you, stupid, man?" He's like, "You got to keep that in the car. Someone will grab that right out of your hand."
Right out of your hand and run.
Well, I'm like, yeah, I'm a stupid American. I am. You gotta think when you're out of the country, man. You know.
You got to think there's different traditions and different people out here.
There's some strange characters that come around, right? And they see that you're not local. They're like, "Ooh."
Yeah. Now, Rick, you have so much confidence. You ooze it. And I could tell whenever you're on stage, whenever you're somebody, you are so extremely confident. I admire that in you. But let me ask you this. Was there ever a point where deep down inside you were like kind of shaking in your boots? Like, oh my God, I don't know about this.
It's all masking, Alicia, you're crazy. Like you don't get it. Thank you for thinking that I'm the most confident person in the world.
I think
But
you are, but
I think by being in that game mode and being able to have switched myself into game mode,
mhm.
some of it's fight or flight, some of it's based on childhood trauma and whatnot. But I think as a human being, you find a way to be who you need to be in any given situation. Not to say act, but when you are in a situation when you need to um, act in a certain way or perform in a certain way, then you are able to find that in yourself, right? So there's been plenty of situations where I felt nervous, quote unquote, but I've always been able to kind of pull it together and perform. And I think it's
Right.
because of being a theatrical person, being an actor at heart from the beginning, from being in school plays, even. I mean, just wanting to be. It's weird because a lot of people will tell you this. Certain people, and I find myself as one of them, will have a hard time in regular society, but do so well when they're performing, when they're on, when they're on stage, when they're on camera, when they're on radio. But when you get them into a comfortable environment, they'd rather just sit there and really not have any small talk or say anything weird.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. So you're more of a fake it till you make it. Like you could be crapping your pants inside, but the world will never know when you're out there. You
Yeah,
you hold
yeah,
it
yeah.
together pretty well, Rick, but I still don't believe you. I still think you're
Yeah,
too much.
I have a lot of skeletons that I'm hiding at all times. So I'm good at keeping them at bay.
Yeah. Now, before I have a couple more questions, but before we get to that point in the show where we say our dear goodbyes, dude, tell me all your links, your websites, your emails. How can people get in contact with you? Are you still taking on clients? If I needed you as a publicist to help me launch my book, how do I get in touch with you? Tell the world.
Yeah, right on. So it's Magnetic Vine. So it's Magnetic Vine, MAGNETICVINE.com. That's my PR agency. If you're involved in booking any sort of performances and you want to know about my booking agency, it's the letters GNR events ny.com, and you can check that out. And check me out personally on Instagram, Facebook, etc. at Rick Eberle, and I'm sure she's going to put it on the screen, but
Yeah, it'll be
RICKEBERLE.
yeah.
Rob Eberle is my son. Remember that too. Hit him up.
I was
He's
just
got a lot
gonna
going on.
say, tell me about your son.
Yeah, no doubt. Like I said, I mean, he's got a lot going on this year. He's got new management. He's got some really exciting shows. And like I said, he just put his release out. So check that out on Spotify and all the major services. And I also got big Rick energy. Like I said, 2026, the album's coming out. We do have a single out right now, Big Rick Energy, Tired of Me. It's a few years old. I took a little bit of a hiatus to get the businesses back in order. But 26 is a big year, so hit us now. We'll take clients. Yeah, I mean, we usually only work with like 10 to 15 a month because we are a small agency. We don't want to not deliver. We have a good, dedicated amount of people that work with us on the publication and distribution side. So we feel confident. It's not like you just give us a amount of money and we hope for the best. Like we have a network we know we're going to cover our client stuff.
Oh
right?
yeah, you guys are the best. You guys are
Yeah. So, we have relationships. It's not, sometimes, unfortunately, on the PR for bands side of things, people get a bad rap because they'll take your $1,500 and then they come back with like a few reposts and a review or two. And it's like, that's not the way that we roll. Like we're a real agency.
You are.
When you sign to us, the difference with getting signed to a record label is when you get signed to a record label, they're giving you money. Yeah. Ooh, what do you do? But then you owe that money back.
Yeah.
With us, you're paying us per month. We're doing what a record label would do, but you keep it all.
Right. So you
right?
guys are
You're
complete.
just paying for the marketing and you don't owe us anything else. And you
Right.
can stay with us
Exactly.
whenever you want.
And I think that's what artists really need the most,
You
especially.
got to invest these days. You do, because the competition's never been stiffer.
Yeah.
Um, and on the booking side too, like, who wants to be calling these municipalities and venues, et cetera? And it looks so much better when you have an advocate.
Yeah.
If I get a call from Joe Schmo in a band, that's one thing. But if an agency calls me, I'm much more likely to pick up the phone or call them back. And not because I'm cooler or better or a jerk, but because that's human nature.
Yeah.
If, it's about looking as big as you can. You said fake it before you make it. I sort of don't love that, but I like the idea behind it. It's just, it's more like be who you are and let the universe see that. And so you become that.
Yes, exactly. And I'm so
See it before you are it. How about that?
exactly. That's so law of attraction, and I am so into that. Like
Amen.
you have to speak it, you have to become it, but you have to start somewhere. So just act as if you are that now, and become it, and you will become it.
Amen. Exactly.
And you
Exactly.
are it. You have to remember, I am it. But Rick, what kind of small, quirky things do you have going on? Like, let's say before you get on stage, or if you're traveling, do you have like a daily ritual, like some sort of quirky thing that you do to keep yourself feng shui and aligned?
I do put my big toe in pickle juice. No. It is weird how that came up so quickly, though, as if it was true.
I know you.
No, but I don't know. Not really. I don't have any clever quip. I mean, I'm really so focused right now. I have to make sure that I stay on point when I wake up in the morning, right?
Yeah.
So like my routine is my everything. So I have to get up at a certain time. I have to try to go to sleep at a certain time. I have a whole tincture formula shot that I take, which is apple cider vinegar, lemon juice, and like a bunch of different weird things. I'm not even going to tell you now. And I also have a whole pill regimen that I take, and it's all organic stuff, not pills. I don't take any sort of statins or anything like that. I don't take any sort of pharmaceuticals. I take all basic herbal remedy type things. I do my small workout, walk the dog, feed the dog. Just, if I do all of that, my day is way better than if I just wake up and I don't follow the procedure. So I think as a client, like, so if you're my client, I think being that OCD, ADHD that I am is helpful for your career. Because I do that. I put that same effort into my clients.
You know what? I feel like so many of us from the 70s and 80s are, but we weren't diagnosed back then. We were just
Gen X, man.
Go outside and run. Don't come home.
We had to do it for ourselves. The sun taught us.
Exactly. And then remember they had the commercial. I just posted this the other day. Like at 10 p.m. they had to put the commercial. Do you know where your children are? Because
isn't that crazy? Could you oh man, we could do it. If you want to go into stuff like that, we could do another episode about that. But I noticed that the other day. Yes. Imagine that was on TV today.
I know.
These helicopter moms, they couldn't imagine their child was out at 10 p.m.
Oh my God, the PC police would be out after the media comes.
Oh my Lord. But yeah, my parents were like, don't come home until it's dark. No, they weren't like that. But I knew people that were like that,
Oh, mine were like outside.
Well, they want to be outside, but they want to be home.
You be in by 6 p.m. for dinner, and you are grounded a day for every minute you are late. So 10 minutes late, I was grounded for 10 days. No TV, and TV was all we had at night back then. So I was never late. I learned the hard way, military style. Never.
Yeah, my stepdad too. My dad. We were definitely in that world. Like we made sure that we didn't break curfew, and and I think I'm a better man for it. I mean, I think having that regimen is important. It really is for people. I think we're missing that. The only thing that people are listening to is this.
I know.
This stupid thing.
I know we live in a crazy world today, Rick, but I'm so glad I got to.
Gen X is going to save the world, man.
Gen X will save the world. They will.
Only hope.
The greatest generation was the World War II generation. That was, to me, the greatest generation.
That's what they call themselves.
I think Gen X is going to save the world because, listen, we didn't have internet back then, and we are like the best. Like, we didn't need it. We got
the phones is the craziest thing. I mean, honestly, if you think about it, because anybody who says, "Oh, I don't, my privacy, this or that," like they know where you are, what you're saying, what you're doing, who you're talking to, what you did yesterday, what you're liking, what you're talking about. Like they know what you're talking about,
Did you ever have a conversation?
Or just accept it, or don't have a phone, or don't be in a room with a phone, because if you are, it knows all.
Yeah, conversation. You're on the.
Let me hear the helicopters that have been above my head, Alysia. Wait.
Exactly. You're not even on the phone. Your phone is in the other room, but you're talking to somebody.
It's hearing everything right now.
And then it comes up on your Facebook feed, your Instagram feed. I just talk about bamboo, and I see it everywhere. I turn on the computer, bamboo commercials, and I'm like,
in the terms and conditions.
What?
It's there. We just don't look. It's
exactly.
We're accepting it. We want the convenience, so we're accepting the control.
Dude, let me tell you the scary.
Yeah, that's another good one. I'm coming up with some good little.
Dude, you're already starting your big Rick energy already.
Oh, there you go. Right on.
But listen to this. A couple months ago, it was during the summer, I thought something. And unless I talk to myself out loud when I'm alone, which maybe I do and I don't realize, I thought something. The next thing you know, when I got on my phone, it was all in my Facebook feed. I said,
"Did you have your AirPods in?"
No, I don't wear AirPods.
Okay. No, I mean,
wait a second.
Well,
there
is a theory out there that says that it can read your mind too. I don't know how on board I am with that side of it. The talking part I get, because all it has to do is listen, and the AI can figure it out. Can this freaking thing read my mind? Maybe. If it can, then it's going to the garbage. When that comes out and that's true, forget it at that point. Right? It's over.
That's my husband.
All bets are off. I'm going off grid. I'm growing a huge beard. I'm getting to 22.
Well, I said to my husband, I said, do I talk to myself do I walk around the house and talk to myself out loud? And he said, sometimes you do. And I said, okay, did I do it this morning? And he was like, I don't know. I was tuned to my own. I had my own headsets on. I wasn't paying attention to you if you were. I said, okay, please. I hope that I was, because if it read my mind and now my Facebook feed is filling up with my thoughts, I go, that's scary. I must have spoken to myself out loud and not even realized it. Let's hope that I did, because
let's hope. I mean, there are theories out there about, number one, about the phone itself, but number two, about the AirPods as well. The AirPods are just bad for you in general because of the radiation, regardless of any kind of conspiracy theory. If you think about it, the radiation that's emitting is obviously not good for your brain, and it's literally right in your ear. So I never ever have the phone to my ear. I'm always talking on speaker. And I never have it in my pocket. Like, there's no reason to. Even if you don't want to believe any of that stuff, it's easy to take precautions just in case. Because the phone is 20 years old still, guys. People forget, 25 years old now, from a mass consumer perspective, right? When I get mine, 99, maybe 98. So, it's still not proven what this thing's going to do to people, So and I don't want to be, I'm not like a tinfoil hat guy. I need it, but it's just funny, to kind of look as Gen X people who were so free and so worried about freedom and so into, getting involved with any sort of surveillance and whatnot, but then going through 9/11 and then now they know everything with this good boy here.
Yeah, it's true. And this is a great note to leave off on. You know what I'm realizing? I'm sinking. So, I'm only 4'11". You've met me. I'm this tiny little smurf. And I'm on pillows. And I realized I used my fluff pillows. And as we're talking, I'm watching myself go down. Oh, my pillows are deflating. I'm like, oh my God. Now, before you know it, I'm going to be like this on the inside.
Well, thank you so much for having me on. And remember, just, I'm all open for, any kind of conversation. So if people want to reach out to me, they can. On social media, I'm also on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on TikTok, although I'm private on TikTok because, I just am. And but you can definitely check me out on all those other platforms. Check out my music, Iridescence, Big Rick Energy. Check out Rob Eberly's music, GNR Events, HVC Rising Stars on Facebook. I have a lot going on. I do.
You do, and that's why I couldn't wait to get you on to talk about it. So guys, to my audience out there, go follow Rick Eberle. Check out his son, Rob Eberle, and all of the businesses that Rick is involved in. Let me tell you something. When you watch him on Instagram and all the people that he's surrounded with, you're going to think like I do. What a freaking legend. What a legend. Well, thanks for coming on the show, Rick. I really appreciate you for coming on.
Thanks, Alysia. Take care.
Calling all first responders, healthcare professionals, and military personnel. Are you ready to take the next steps in your home buying or selling journey? My name is Alysia Stern. I'm a licensed realtor in New York, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Florida, and the founder of the Heroes Agents. You have made tremendous sacrifices for all of us, and it is our honor to assist you in your real estate journey. To express our gratitude, we offer hero rebates and customized services tailored to fit your unique needs. Our commitment is to help you find your perfect home or enhance the value of your current property. We are also dedicated to supporting you in securing financial resources and smoothly navigating the mortgage process, guiding you every step of the way. To date, we have proudly given back over $50,000 to heroes like you as a way to say thank you. The Heroes Agents are here to serve you and make the process as easy and stress-free as possible while giving back with no strings attached. Reach out to us today at 833-TOP-HERO. That's 833-TOP-HERO. Or visit theheroesagents.com.